In this video, I will teach you, my follower friend, what is the key to wealth that the Lord of the worlds has given you from the day you were born to this day. This is the key that will make you rich, maybe very rich from your current financial situation, dear follower. The talk is really real, and I'm going to introduce it to you in detail in this video. The fourth lesson of the 7 lessons that Robert Kiyosaki learned from his rich father, and through which he became one of the wealthy today. Prepare your very tasty cup of coffee or your favorite drink, and let's enjoy. Welcome back, my friend, who is a follower of the Rich Books channel. The idea of the channel is that I read a book and give you its benefit. If you want to take the benefit of reading without what read, subscribe to the channel. In the year 1974, Texas hosted Rick Rack, the owner of the McDonald's chain of restaurants. The purpose of hosting was to give a speech to MBA students at the university at that time. Of course, it was Robert Kiyosaki's friend who was telling the story to Robert when he was a student at the time. After he finished speaking, Rick saw us going to lunch. While we were eating, he asked us a very strange question. He says, "What is my private business?" He says we all turned to him while we were eating and said, "You were joking." He said, "I'm serious." He replied, "Of course, your job is to manage the McDonald's chain of restaurants." So he smiled and said, "This is what I expected from you," and then he stood up and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, managing the McDonald's chain of restaurants is my profession. And my own business is real estate." We were stunned, says Robert's friend. And then it was revealed that he runs the McDonald's chain of restaurants as a profession. As for his private business, it is real estate. And he says, "When I open another McDonald's branch, I buy the land on which I will open the branch, and I make sure in most cases that the location of the land is distinctive. Thus, I am practicing my profession and interested in my own business." This is the fourth lesson, my friend, of the lessons of the rich. Robert Kiyosaki says, "My rich dad always told me to practice my profession and interested in my own business." Of course, a question will come to your mind, my dear follower, what is the difference between profession and work? The profession is the skills that you learn and acquire in order to practice a specific profession in order to get money. And many of us, dear followers, do jobs to get a good salary. For example, most people study majors at a university that they don't want or don't like, because the job market demands it. So he goes to learn mechanical engineering, even though he hates mechanics, electrical engineering, human sciences, law, and other disciplines only because the labor market requires these professions. So he studies something he doesn't like and works for 8 hours a day, and he is the one who wakes up from sleep exhausted until he finishes his shift and returns home. All of this, my dear follower, is for the sake of getting money. Of course, do not forget that the rich do not work for money. The rich dad says to Robert, "March your profession, there is no problem, but take care of your own business. As for private work, it is the thing that you really love and do. This is something that you are supposed to care about and develop, and it is your gateway to wealth, my follower dear." Remember in a story mentioned by Stephen Covey in the book The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He says, "I met a civil engineer who holds the highest degrees in civil engineering and a lecturer at the university. He says that at that time the man did not like civil engineering and hated it. I asked him a question. I told him, 'Mr. Engineer, what about your professional life and your daily life? What is your daily routine?' He says, so he began to give me his weekly routine, and when he arrived on the weekend, he said that I work in a small carpentry workshop in the garage of my house. I gather the children of the neighborhood and teach them lessons in carpentry." Stephen Covey says, "When I saw his face, how excited he was when he first started talking about carpentry, I was 100% sure that this guy doesn't like civil engineering at all. This is a carpenter, yes, a carpenter. His joy and advice on the subject of carpentry is amazing." From his reaction to these expressions, it is confirmed that he is a carpenter, but he practices civil engineering because of the high rank that exists in society, reputation, or other reasons that make us do things that we do not like. Do what you love, my friend follower. Robert says, "Practice your profession as you wish, but take care of your own business, which is your gateway to wealth." Look, my friend follower, this is very true and deep. Steve Harvey says God Almighty gave every human being a talent that is the key to wealth that exists with us. He even called it a gift. If you want to know what this gift is, verify the talent that God Almighty gave you, or the talent that is the key to wealth, and God Almighty gave it to you, and it is what you do with the utmost perfection and with the least possible effort. Look at your talent and keep it going, it will lead you to wealth. And Steve Harvey set an example for himself and said, God Almighty gave me comedy. He says if he talks to you, it is normal that you will die of laughter. This talent is what made me rich today. From a homeless person sleeping in a car to a millionaire living in California. It was always repeated by Steve Harvey that I have to focus on this talent. He says don't waste your time ever, focus on this talent only. Focus on the thing you love. You can focus on the thing you love, follow your passion, and do it with perfection and with minimal effort. My friend follower, I am sure of it, passion is your biggest motivation. Nothing motivates you to do anything in life like passion. Passion is great, dear follower. Passion makes time pass quickly. You work 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, and you don't feel the time. Examples of passion such as playing the PlayStation, football player, carpentry, swimming or car racing. Today, there are people from scratch who became millionaires because of playing the PlayStation, such as Ninja, one of the biggest PlayStation players today. Also, Steve Jobs was an employee of Disney. He was drawing with Disney. He was working to make the first computer in his life. His passion was in technology and making computers. After that he established the company he dreamed of, known today as Apple. Is there anyone who does not know the giant Apple company? He practiced his profession to take care of his own business until he reached wealth. By the way, dear follower, the story of Steve Jobs is one of the most amazing stories you can hear. He was collecting empty gas cans to pay for the university. And while he was studying at the university, he did not have housing. He rented a room with a bathroom at one of his friends, and Steve Jobs died after he announced the first iPhone. And Apple is one of the largest companies that pass the global economic market, and it is the first company whose market value exceeds more than $1 trillion. From empty gas cans to trillions. Mark Zuckerberg, founder of Facebook, same story. Bill Gates, same story. Jeff Bezos, same story. Elon Musk, enrich the rich today, the same story. Look, I'm giving you examples of people from scratch. They did not have anything. Once they practiced their passion, they became the owners of international brands. These real-life examples are autobiographies. I can tell it to you in many videos as well. I will also tell it to you in the future because it is motivating. The purpose of the message I want to convey to you is that your own business is your gateway to wealth. See what is the gift given to you by the Lord of the worlds, as Steve Harvey said, and focus on the thing that you love. Develop and nurture it and take care of it and create assets through it, and this is a very important point. Practice your profession, which is your job, and interested in your own business, but make assets out of it, and assets are the things that bring you money without any effort on your part. It may require a lot of effort from you in the beginning. It may be a month, a year, 2 years, or 5 years, but after this period of effort, this passion will turn into riche. Like the professional Richard Tyler who focused on gaming and made a fortune from this games. But a brand was made for him selling sweatshirts, t-shirts, pullovers, and more. This brand is an asset, my friend. Practice your passion, make a fortune out of it, and turn it into an asset. You love coffee. Practice coffee. You love books. Write a book. The same story is a passion. I love creating content, and that's why I said I have to invest in this thing. Is my own business. It is my profession or job that I take advantage of in developing this special business. I like a person whose thinking is positive, focused on circumstances they can control and cannot be held back by any barriers. And he makes his opportunity out of the worst circumstances. Because he is a strong believer in God that he does the reasons and he will change his current situation. Practice your passion and focus on the thing you love. And from this passion you will change your life. I'm 1,000,000% sure you can do it. And everyone has a talent or a skill or a passion, so you take that talent and create your passion. Practice your profession and focus on your passion. And make a fortune out of it and turn it into assets. This is the 4th lesson, dear follower. It is important to enjoy the decent life you want. Apply it and you will reach success. If you benefited from the lesson and it helped you, you can share the video with your friends. Send him this video. I would be very thankful and grateful if you give me a like on this video. And like I told you, if you want to benefit from reading without what you read, subscribe to the channel. The dose of the channel has ended for today, my friend follower, until I meet you next week, God willing, with a more beautiful and better dose. And thanks for listening and thanks for your invaluable time. Goodbye.